Have you ever wondered what it's like to work in law enforcement? Here on Behind the Star, we share stories about the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Central Florida's largest law enforcement agency. From forensics to dispatch to the deputies on patrol, we'll talk to the brave men and women who protect our community. This is Behind the Star, the official podcast of the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Welcome to Behind the Star, the official podcast of the Orange County Sheriff's Office. My name is Jon Busdeker, your host here at Behind the Star, and I hope you're listening and you are okay after Hurricane Ian. We got pretty lucky, I would say, here in Orange County compared to some other parts of Florida, and so I hope you're all right. I got some people here today that are going to talk about some of the rescues and evacuations that we've been doing since Wednesday and Thursday when Hurricane Ian went through. I got Master Deputy Kent Matherne and Sergeant Matt Schroeder of the Emergency Response Team. Welcome to Behind the Star.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, so we're going to talk all about the Emergency Response Team. It's ERT for short. Before we get into kind of what the Sheriff's Office did during Hurricane Ian, why don't you explain what is ERT, what is the Emergency Response Team? Sergeant Schroeder, why don't you start?
So, John, the best way to explain it is we're kind of like the Swiss Army knife of the agency. We have a ton of capability in different areas. When it comes to like hurricane response, hurricane rescue, crowd control, civil disturbance. We assist a lot of the detective units for searching for, people and evidence. We assist the SWAT team on certain occasions for different things that they do. So we're kind of that unit that can be applied to a lot of different situations.
So Kent, give me sort of an idea of how many people are on the Emergency Response Team.
Currently, we have 75 members. We actually are trying to increase up to 90 to 100. We're waiting on that final word to get up there. But currently, we have 75 members.
So how does somebody get to be on the ERT, on the Emergency Response Team?
So there is a tryout. We have to have a tryout. We do a little bit of physical fitness stuff. We do some shooting, and then we put them in the gas house to make sure they're able to handle the situation with crowd control situations when we deploy our CS gas.
Excellent. So we'll get more into that later. I want to talk more about Hurricane Ian. So Hurricane Ian, like I said, came through Central Florida on kind of Wednesday night, Thursday morning, but we've been preparing for it for probably a week and a half or so. How did the Emergency Response Team, how did you prepare for Hurricane Ian? Sergeant Schroeder.
First, for us, it starts at home with my family, is trying to get ahead of the program and making sure that, my house is buttoned up, my family's all taken care of. And then it's back to work. Mm-hmm. With the ERT stuff, we've got equipment preparations we've got to make. If a lot of times in these situations, though this one kind of came through home, we prepare to go pretty much anywhere in the southeastern United States to assist other agencies and other citizens of the state and the country. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. A lot of our guys will pack bags and just be prepared for the long haul type thing. So it's personal preparation, and then it's also mental preparation too, of knowing that you're going to be, I don't want to say forced, but we've signed up for the situations to do the dirty work, so to speak, wading through water and, working with boats and other units and collaborating with, other response units and the fire department. So it's kind of a collage of all of those things.
At what point in the process does it start the preparation? What I mean by that is, right now there's a tropical storm going through, I think, the Atlantic, but it's far away from here. Is it, a week out? Is it a week and a half out? Or is it just sort of you're watching the weather and say, okay, this hurricane's probably going to go through Florida, probably going to go through Central Florida. We need to start telling all these people on the Emergency Response Team, just get ready because we might be deployed. Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is like when we see a storm coming, we let the folks know, hey, be ready because we could get a phone call at any moment. Mm-hmm. Pack your bags for 4 or 5 days, and you may be staying here at Ops. We may be staying over in one of the sectors or something like that. But pack your bags, be ready to go.
And the deputies on ERT, most of them they're regular deputies that work in patrol or wherever. This isn't like their full-time job.
Yeah, correct. It's a specialty unit. They, as we talked about before, they sign up for this. They go through a tryout. They make our team and in our unit, and then from there we get deployed to do different things. Mm-hmm. So they know, like it's something that you have to have that kind of mindset to sign up for, knowing that you're going to be asked to do different tasks that are outside your norm. Most of the people on an ERT are from on patrol, like you said. We've got a few detectives and things, and that helps us out too with the investigative side of things too. So we're kind of a collage of all of those different disciplines that we can apply in many different directions.
And talk about that gear a little bit, because we'll talk about the vehicle as well. But are you issued like certain things, or because I know some of the deputies, they were wearing high boots and they had different stuff. Like, maybe just talk about some of the gear that you get.
Yeah, just like Matt was saying earlier, is we're the Swiss Army knife, but we have to have gear for every type of mission that we get. So we get all this gear issued. We get gear issued for our crowd control stuff. We're issued a bike for that things as well. Mm-hmm. Then we talk about when we're going out there and doing searches for specific items, for missing people or items like that. We have machetes, we have boots, we have all kind of different stuff. So we have to have all this gear with us at all times, because we never know when we'll get that call.
So yeah, with the gear and things, we adapt. Like almost every environment that we get into, new technology comes along. A hurricane presents a different problem, so we adapt almost instantly. With the boots, we were discussing with this past response of, hey, we wish we had this item or this particular piece of equipment so we can do better in certain areas where we've learned from our mistakes, so to speak. So yeah, we're constantly on the evolutionary end of it too.
And so, at what point during the hurricane? I mean, I assume that night you were watching it. At what point is it like safe to say, okay, now it's time that we need to go out and start doing our job?
We were actually stationed here at Ops, waiting for the hurricane to pass so that we could be going out there and starting our missions as far as rescuing people and searching and that stuff. So we were stationed here, bunkered down at Ops, waiting for the storm to pass.
Because I think at some point I was here at Ops as well. And I should say, if you're not familiar with Orange County, Central Operations is like John Young and Colonial area, pretty much in the middle of Orange County. It's kind of like our headquarters if you're not from here at all. But I was here as well, and I think you guys might have went out one time before I woke up that day. But you went out as soon as it was safe to go out.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so how does that work? Does somebody say, do you get a 911 call and then you get it deployed somewhere? Like, how do you know where to go and where it's time, where to rescue people?
Yeah. So again, I'm back to that like multi-application with our equipment, with our MRAP specifically, being
before you say that, what's an MRAP or what's our, explain what that is.
The MRAP is it's a repurposed military vehicle that we have taken. It has, heavy armor and things, explosive armor and things like that. It's just like you'd see in the military.
Yeah.
We've repurposed it, and we call it now Rescue One. So it's a high water vehicle that we can drive through, a couple feet of water to get in those places where normal citizens couldn't get to.
And I'll say, I took some photos of it. If you want to go to our Facebook, if you want to go to our Twitter, you can see that. And I'll say, it looks a little scary if you don't know. Like, if you see that thing coming down your road, something's going down.
Yeah, people's eyes get really big when they see that on the road.
However, and we'll get into this in a bit, you need that to get to certain areas, especially when the water is up to somebody's waist. You can't just take an F-150 in there.
Yeah, correct. So we kind of, working with our other units like Marine and using the boats and things, we collaborate with them because, when you get into waters that vehicle can't surpass, then you obviously got to get a boat in those areas. So we work kind of hand in hand in those regards.
But that vehicle can go in 2-3 feet of water, right?
The max is 36 inches, so 3 feet of water.
Which is, most of the time you're not going to go to a lot of places that have 3 feet of water. If it's that bad, it's really bad.
Correct.
But, when we were going out to Orland Vista, which once again, you can go on our social media and see those photos, we were able to go to a lot of places in that vehicle.
Yeah, and I think the max we went to was right at that limit as far as the 36 inches of water. It was pretty treacherous as far as the water level.
Yeah, it gives us the capability to get in, to get into those places, and then with the several deputies we had on board, we were able to get out and get in the water and actually move a little bit farther where the vehicle can't go. So it stretches our response area in situations like that.
And I know, once again, when I was with you guys, I think we left at like 7 in the morning to go out to Orland Vista, which once again, it's on kind of the east or west side of Orange County, not too far from Ops, honestly, like 2-3 miles from here. The flooding was bad there. It's historically bad there, but it was bad there after the hurricane. And, you drive through the neighborhoods and you start on your loudspeaker asking for people to come out. Describe that.
So I'm the vehicle operator, and I kind of have to make sure that the vehicle's capable of going in where we need it to go, but then I have to watch out for all these guys that are going out of the back and going actually in the water. And so what we just we came up with a plan, was like, I'll be the loudspeaker guy and just start making announcements saying, hey, if anyone's out there needs rescue, anyone needs evacuation, just come on out. We're here to help you guys.
Mm-hmm. And you're not forcing anybody to leave. If they want to stay in their house, that's their prerogative.
All voluntary. Just come on out. We'll get you to the shelter, to a collection point. They'll take you to the shelter and get out of the flood zone.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because you really don't know what you're getting into. I mean, you're driving, but you can't see a road.
Yeah, it's very hard because, with the flooding, like you said, you can't see the road. So is the road washed out below you? Is there a submerged car, something in the way where we can't see it? And it's very tough.
And you're just going on site. I mean, it's not like you have like some sort of like sonar or anything.
Right. Yep. It's just like driving the car, but through 3 feet of water. So
trying to keep it between the mailboxes sometimes.
Yeah. But you're right. There could be a sinkhole there, and you have no idea.
Correct.
So you're driving through the neighborhood. You're calling out on the loudspeaker. If anybody needs rescuing, come outside. We'll come get you. And sure enough, our deputies went and got them.
Yeah, and that's understanding, the environment that the residents are in, where they're in a flooded area where they haven't seen assistance, they haven't seen the fire department, they haven't seen, the sheriff's office or ERT or us, reaching out as best we can to people that may have been trapped there for a couple of days that we don't know about. So we try to use all of our tools, to make it aware, our sirens, our horns, our loudspeakers and things, and then, make contact with those people that truly need the help. A lot of it's beneficial for us is because the community comes out and sees our vehicle, and then they're happy, they wave, they're excited, but it's just a positive community contact. So that's kind of the other half of what we do too.
Yeah, and when the folks were coming into the vehicle, they pretty much had to grab whatever they could, and some people were grabbing computers or important documents, and that's all they could get. It's not like you said, we're packing up a U-Haul and we'll take you somewhere. It's what you can carry and get in the vehicle and then go.
Yeah, pets as well. We had several dogs that joined the ride with us, so we were happy to do that as well.
Do you have any idea roughly like how many people you rescued in Orla Vista, and then maybe just the rest of the week as well?
I don't know the breakdown between Orla Vista and the east side, but I think our tally was 38 rescues of people, and we got 4 dogs as well.
Oh, all right. So yeah, it wasn't just in Orla Vista. That was just one day, really. You were out all week. It's not like the hurricane came, rained, and it was all gone by Thursday afternoon. I mean, you guys have been working, and your whole team's been working for days and days and days.
Yeah, we went all the way up until Saturday.
What was it like in other parts of the county?
The east side was pretty bad. I mean, Orla Vista, like you said, John, was known for its flooding, but the east side, when we made it out that way, I mean, there was areas out there that were unpassable by our vehicle, and we had to have Marine and their boats go out there in several areas off of Rouse and Buck area. It was pretty bad. I mean, you're talking about you can't even see the top of cars out there.
Sergeant Schroeder, what is the response usually? I mean, do most people want to get in the vehicle and go, or do some not? And then when they do, are they pretty happy? Or
honestly, it's mixed. We saw people very happy that wanted to wave, and we had a lot of casual roadside conversation, just checking on on the Orange County citizens and things. We encountered people that were, physically incapable of getting out of their house. We worked with USAR, I think, in Orla Vista, and we were carrying elderly people, through the floodwaters and on the back of our vehicle.
And young people who, I mean, there was a guy in a wheelchair, and there's no way he could have got to the vehicle without the help of deputies.
Yeah. So it's a collage of that. I mean, it's, there were some communities that, we were just kind of doing area checks to make sure that they have services available and they know that we're out there and about. A lot of smiles, a lot of high fives, just, people waving. We even had employees here that worked at the sheriff's office that, were unheard of for a couple of days that we had to go make contact with and, make sure our people were good as well. So, and most of those were really positive.
What about our deputies? What were they saying as they were going in and out? Because once again, I saw them, and it's not like they had waders on. They had boots that as soon as they stepped in the water, they were soaked.
You know, the guys that we were with were very receptive to, hey, all right, we're pulling in, and the door's coming down, and they were jumping out. They were ready to go for the 4 or 5 days that we were out there. No questions asked. We're going. We have a job to do, and they were doing it.
And you don't really know what's in the water. I mean, despite sinkholes and curbs or whatever you might slip on, there might be some things living in some of those some of that water too.
There were several areas where we saw fish, you know, swimming right in front of the MRAP as we were walking out there and stuff like that. So yeah, you never know what's out there.
Yeah, some other things that popped up is the FD actually told us you guys need to be careful of manholes because the rush of water can blow the manholes off and dislodge them. So now you've got an underground hole that you can't see. So it can get a little shaky and dangerous. So we were picking up broomsticks and things just to kind of poke along to make sure we weren't stepping in those dangerous things. But that's what people need to be aware of is there's many other dangers that come just with the high water.
I shot a photo of 4 of the deputies, and the guy in front had a broomstick, and I had to ask, like, why do you have that? And he said, well, I'm poking on the ground just to make sure there's a ground there and to see how deep it is.
Yeah, we tend to, I can tell you, in the heat of the moment, it's kind of an afterthought. Like you get in it and you go. Once you're wet, it is what it is, and you move on about your mission, you know, and especially if we have specific missions. But yeah, I personally tend not to get that wrapped around the axle about it because, yeah, there's unimaginable things in the water, you know, the storm sewers and things, all of that stuff boiling out of the ground. It's all there. We're aware of it. And that's exactly why we adjust our equipment through each and every experience.
I know one of the deputies mentioned when we were headed back to ops, he said, you know, we went into a house, and when we went inside, there was snails and ants and bugs all crawling up the walls because those critters wanted to make sure they were not they wanted to find dry ground, and so the only place was higher up in the house. And I was like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's nature. I mean, that's what they do. It's not like the houses were. It's just kind of what those insects need to do to survive as well. And I'm just like, well, I'm glad you guys are going in there, not me.
Yeah.
So when you went over to the east side, you said it was bad over there. And right now we're recording this. It is Tuesday, October 4th. Are you still going out rescuing and evacuating people, or has that sort of calmed down?
No, we've kind of settled down as far as the emergency response team, but I know that if there's still people out there that are needing any assistance, they can give us a call, and there'll be somebody out there. We're just not taking the MRAP out anymore.
What about other parts of Florida? Will our ERT team be sent anywhere else to help out with whatever they're dealing with?
Yeah, actually, we'll be deploying down south, a contingency from Orange County. We're actually going to be sending 2 waves down to assist with the Lee County area and go down there and do the same exact thing that we were doing here in Orange County.
So how does that work? Do you just you pick 10 people or 20 people or whatever and say, all right, you're going down to Lee County now?
Yeah, it's kind of a voluntary process. You know, sometimes our team members have issues here at home they've got to deal with, and they're just unable to go because of other problems, or, you know, hurricane affected their personal lives too. So it kind of goes out of people that are interested, and quite frankly, about 95% of the team is raring to go. But yeah, we take you know, certain numbers. It's based on, you know, the requests from other areas of how many people they need, and, you know, all of those higher decisions are made throughout, you know, the EOCs and things like that, and the state requests. But yeah, we send people down in waves, anywhere from 7 to 14 days sometimes. To give you more of insight, sometimes it gets a little rustic because, as you can imagine, the hurricane does cause a lot of damage in certain places, more so than others. And we just kind of have to go down there, and it's almost like a big camping trip where we can help, you know, people outside of our county. And to be completely honest, the ERT guys love doing it. We truly do. It's like an away game for us, so to speak, and we can go help other people. And we've made a lot of really good contacts all over the state. You know, we responded to Hurricane Michael in 2018, and I know Kent actually, you know, made some really good friends and contacts up there that they keep up with, and you know, and touch base even to this day, and now 4 years later. So it's such a, what's the term? I mean, it's such a rewarding feeling to come back and know that you've helped not just, you know, our citizens here in Orange County, but around the state and even around some parts of the country. Our team historically has gone to Biloxi, Mississippi. That was Hurricane Katrina, I think, in 2004. They were sent up there. I think they were in North Carolina several years before that. I don't remember the hurricane, that predates me. But yeah, our team is just really enjoys this kind of work, to be completely honest, even though what you see on TV is not the best. So we enjoy that.
I mean, I'll tell you what, when I was in the back of the vehicle and the deputies were going out and bringing people back and going out, I mean, they were smiling the whole time. I mean, I know it was kind of gross with, walking in gross water and they're sweating and it's raining and all that, but they seemed like they were having kind of fun.
Yeah, it's very rewarding, like Matt was saying. It's rewarding to be able to go out there and we don't specifically train to go out there and do these high water rescues, but when we're able to go do it and be like, it is so satisfying and rewarding to be able to say, okay, look, this is what we did.
And maybe fun's not the right word, but I mean, they were smiling. And even the people that were being rescued. I mean, I understand, their homes might have been complete losses, but like there was 2 guys in particular, and I don't know what their circumstances was, but when they got into the MRAP, they were happy. I mean, they were so happy that they could be out of that house. And sort of smiling, and I think they understood, like, yeah, we went through a storm, but at least we're safe now, and we'll be safe to see another day.
It's almost like a feel of relief once once they get in the back of the MRAP. It was just like, okay, I'm good now.
So now that it's been a few days since the hurricane went through here in Central Florida in Orange County. I mean, what do you think you've learned over the last few days in terms of, how we respond as an agency, but also specifically, how do we respond as ERT? Is there anything you learned during the last few days?
Yeah. I mean, we always learn. With this high water rescue and having our MRAP vehicle, capable of doing this, we quickly. Honestly, Kent and I, perfect example here. We ran to Walmart and bought rope and some additional things that we didn't have. We used our own money to do that because, we wanted the buoys to throw to people if we needed them. We wanted other things that we just had to adapt. So it is literally a constant adaptation to those things. Obviously, we understand things cost money, and we get that. And, a hurricane doesn't come so often that we can go out and spend a lot of money to get those items. So it's kind of it's a balance that you've got to maintain and keep. But, some of the things we came up with was like wetsuits would be handy, and some other things like that. But it's the adapting to the mission that we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, like you asked earlier about the gear. We didn't really know what gear we would need, because we hadn't really done it before, and now that we've done it, now we're like, okay, these are some of the items that we need. You're talking about using a broomstick. Let's get a pole and keep it on the vehicle.
I hope we can afford a pole at least.
So, and just things like Matt was saying was a wetsuit or a dry suit. We got deputies going out in waist chest high water in boots that are designed to go in 3 inches of water.
Yeah, and that's and like I assume because this hurricane rained so much and there's so much flooding, it's just this hasn't happened like this in the past that we've had to respond to. I'm sure there's been floods and all that, but you probably thought, well, our 16-inch boots are going to be fine. We'll be fine. But then you get there and the water's 36 inches. You say, oh, maybe we should have like fishing waders just so we can go out and not be soaked, because you're right. Once those guys got back, they were soaked. Their boots were soaked. Their socks were soaked. Everything was soaked. And it's not like there's a brand new pair of boots. You got to dry those boots, and then you got to go back out tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad, me being the driver of the vehicle.
You didn't feel bad. You were happy to be in the vehicle.
My shoes didn't get wet at all. But they would come back from stomping through the water and literally would take their boots out and pour water out, when we were on dry land.
And who knows what else is in those boots.
Right. And then they would put them back on and do it again.
I truly... Yeah, I mean, as I said before, there's always better technology, better equipment, but the part that's unknown is the mindset of the guys on this team. They're going to lace up whatever they've got, and they're going to carry on and do the mission that needs to be done. And that's truly the part that's invaluable. I mean, it doesn't matter the boots. It doesn't matter the equipment. The job gets done, and that's truly, the testament to this team and what we've accomplished over the last. Well, I've been on the team now 12 years, so. I can't say enough about that. These guys are amazing that we work with.
So tell me how that works. Let's talk about how you get on the team. Do you just like put a call out every year or every 6 months and say, hey, we got openings, we got vacancies, come try out for this?
So we usually have a postings for any openings at least twice a year. And like I said before, that there is a tryout. So you have to submit a resume and everything like that. And then we have a tryout. And you complete the tryout as long as
Tell me about the tryout. What do you got to do?
So you got to do some push-ups. You got to do some sit-ups. You got to do a little bit of running. Mm-hmm. And then after that, as you know, there are some restrictions to those as far as you got to require us to do so many of those things. And then after that, we put you to our agency shooting qualifications. Mm-hmm. And then we add a little bit of a stress to it as well. And then after that, we put you into the gas house, and I'm actually the grenadier team leader, so I throw a gas grenade in there and then make sure that they're able to work with their gas mask and stuff like that.
Because they got to take it off and put it back on?
We do have them take it off and say a couple of things and then put it back on because, you know, in a crowd control situation, if we are out there and you have to be able to work in those types of environments. Mm-hmm. So then after that, then, you know, there's a personnel file review, and then you pretty much are on the team after that. And then we do have some training things that you have to go through as well. And then, you know, it's like Matt was saying, the people that are on ERT are so just willing to go that extra mile to do pretty much whatever ERT needs to do.
Mm-hmm. And there's like a bike component of it too. Like you got to know a few things before you can even apply or at least get certified while you're on the team.
Yeah, so just a few years ago, what was that, 2018-19, we basically converted our mobile field force and put them on a bicycle, on a mountain bike. We got paired up with some other agencies actually out of Seattle, Washington, believe it or not. We went that far. Took on some additional training and really adopted this bicycle, we call it our bicycle program, and have put away all of the hard shell foot soldier gear, and now we're a little bit lighter on bicycles, but it gives us the advantage to move faster, to move more efficiently. We can, you know, ride parade routes. We have a good time. We go to Gasparilla over in Tampa, mm-hmm. and we help guard the parade and things over there. And our deputies will come back with beads around their neck, mm-hmm. and you know, we have a good time doing those things. But it gives us that really positive connection with the, you know, the people, so to speak. It's not all, you know, dirt and grime all of the time for us. The bicycle has really broadened our spectrum of what we can do. And quite frankly, a lot of agencies around the state and the country look towards Orlando and saying, okay, Orange County is doing something. Why are they having so much success? And we're actually in the process of developing additional training curriculums for even outside agencies to come learn what we have been doing. So we've had a lot of great success recently with that.
And I'll say, if you want to see any of this, there's video on our YouTube page with both the bike program. I did a video on that, and ERT, the tryout. I was there at some point doing that right. too. So you can go to our YouTube page, which is Orange County. It's YouTube/Orange County Sheriff. All that stuff's on there. You can search for it, but we've done some videos on that stuff. But speaking of emergencies, like, do you train for a hurricane? Or like, how does the team train for quote-unquote emergencies? Because the word emergency literally could mean anything.
Correct. You know, we do training once a month on you know, I think 11 months out of the year. I think there's 1 month that we don't do it. And we do all types of training because we have so many different types of missions, mm-hmm. and we do have to train for all those. Hurricane is probably one of the smaller things that we do train for, but there is some talk about it. Hey, look, if there's a hurricane, this is what we're going to be doing and things of that nature. But we do train. We have to train on everything that we do.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm sure there's plenty of things that you guys got to do and get out and help other counties here in Florida kind of deal with this hurricane. And are either of you two going down to South Florida?
I will be leaving on the 10th.
Okay. All right.
I'm probably following them.
I think Matt's on the second wave, so we'll give each other a high five and switch gears. So.
All right. Well, good luck down there. Thank you for all you do. I mean, I didn't know this until I went out after the hurricane on the vehicle. So thank you for all you do. And I know the people that you helped evacuate are very, very, very grateful for you being out there. So thank you for being on Behind the Star, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jon.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Behind the Star. You can find us wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Until next time, I'm Jon Busdeker, and this is Behind the Star.